Hello and welcome back to Fullerton College Biotech. Today, we're going to go over how to make 0.8% sodium borate agarose gels. First, let's review the materials you'll need, followed by a visual of what the setup would look like. Before we get started on making agarose gels, there are some important factors that must be considered. The percentage of your gel. You must adjust the percentage of agarose in your gel, depending on how large or small your expected DNA fragments are going to be. For smaller DNA fragments, a larger gel percentage should be used, and conversely, a lower percentage gel should be made for larger fragments of DNA. The type of buffer needed to run the gel. There are several different types of buffer that can be used to make and run agarose gels during gel electrophoresis. Different factors such as DNA size, conductivity, voltage, and resolution are things to consider when deciding which buffer to use. Regardless of which buffer you choose, you will need to make your agarose gels with the same buffer that you will be using for electrophoresis. The brand of gel electrophoresis system. There is a wide variety of electrophoresis systems, with each of them requiring a different size gel and different volume of buffer. It is important to make sure you know how much molten agarose will be needed to make one gel. The Fullerton College Biotech program commonly uses the Mini 1 and Enduro XL gel electrophoresis systems. For this video, we will be making 0.8% agarose gels using 1X sodium borate buffer, commonly referred to as SB buffer. Watch our diluting a concentrated solution video to learn how to obtain the 1X SB buffer from a stock solution. Before we begin making gels, let's review the lab math. Begin by measuring the agarose powder using an analytical balance, weigh boat, and spatula. Using a graduated cylinder, measure the correct volume of 1 XSB buffer. Remember to read the volume of the liquid at the bottom of the meniscus. Obtain a vented Erlenmeyer flask and add about half of the buffer to it. Bend the weigh boat to pour the agarose powder into the flask. Pour a small amount of buffer into the weigh boat to rinse out the remaining agarose powder and pour it into the flask. Pour the remaining buffer into the flask. Loosely cap the flask to allow steam to exit. The cap should move if pulled up. Place the flask in the microwave for 1 minute. Stop the microwave immediately once you see bubbles forming in the flask. Using heat-resistant gloves, grab the flask from the microwave and swirl the contents. If there are still agarose granules in the solution, place the flask back in the microwave for 30-second intervals, removing the flask and swirling each time it boils. Once the solution is clear, set the flask on a flat surface and allow it to cool until you can comfortably hold it in the palm of your hand. Insert the clear tray into the casting tray, making sure the side grooves are properly aligned. Each side of the comb has a different number of wells. Use the correct side based on the number of samples you need to run. Use a 25 milliliter serological pipette to measure 25 milliliters of agarose solution and dispense 12.5 milliliters into each of the casting trays. make sure to pop any bubbles that remain in the dispensed agarose. Let the molten agarose solidify in the casting trays for at least 15 minutes. Once hardened, carefully lift the comb straight up from the gel. Try not to move the comb left or right while lifting. Using a spray bottle or regular bottle of 1XSB, add a small amount of buffer to a gel storage container. Carefully lift the casting tray out of the system and transfer the gel to the storage container using a gel spatula. Add a small amount of buffer to the gels before adding a laminated sheet. Close the container and store the gels in a refrigerator at 4 degrees Celsius. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next session.